What's going on, guys? Welcome back into the channel. Welcome back into the San Francisco Giants franchise here on MLB The Show 21. And where we left off in the last video was approaching the trade deadline. You can see we're on July 28th. And we have some interesting moves, I think, to cap off the trade deadline to show kind of where we're at with this franchise and potentially make some moves to bolster the roster. So let's go ahead and jump into those. The first trade that we performed was sending Johnny Cueto to the Nationals. They're in a position to compete, and they were looking for an additional veteran starting pitcher. So we took that opportunity to add a relief pitching prospect to our farm system in Jake Haberer here. And this is a guy that I think is, quite a ways off before he could become, MLB impact, but somebody that I think has a little bit of value. And to get any value back in return for Johnny Cueto, I think is valuable to us. In addition to that, that allows us to call up Sean Hiel to the major leagues. So we are well on our way to having the young rotation up that we're looking to have within the next few seasons. So I like that move quite a bit. Then we don't have too much more to do in terms of starting pitchers. Within the next season or so, we might see Aaron Sanchez move on to another team. But I like what we have going on here with the starting rotation now. The next trade that we're going to do here, and this is probably our final trade before the deadline unless we're offered something interesting by another team that we really like, is going to be with the Rays. The Rays are sitting 14 games back in the American League East, and so that's going to essentially write in their season for them. And they're a team that is in this franchise potentially looking to kind of build a little differently and maybe do a couple of things differently around their core talent that they have coming up. And so we're going to be looking to trade with them for a player that they have on the trade block that kind of makes sense. We did our due diligence trying to set the groundwork for a trade here to bolster the roster before the deadline, and they were one of the teams that are kind of at the bottom, that would potentially be looking to sell players off. There weren't a lot of teams, and there are a couple of different players that we potentially looked at. The players that we primarily wanted to take a look at here are guys that can potentially play either the outfield or first base for us, positions that we are, potentially thin at the moment. And so we looked at Joey Gallo because he's a nice power hitter. He's somebody that could potentially be on the block. The Rangers are one of the worst teams in the league right now in this franchise, so we were taking a look at him. And then the Cubs are a team that are also playing pretty poorly at the moment, and so we took a look at Chris Bryant there, the third baseman, as well as first baseman Anthony Rizzo. Ultimately, we decided to go with the Rays, and we settled on Randy Arozarena. Now, the reason that we decided to settle with Arozarena is because he is a player that can play those outfield positions that we are looking for. He's got nice power, he's got a nice bat, and this is somebody that I think is kind of struggling at the moment, so a player that is potentially realistically tradable. He's not a huge part of what's going on with this team, and they have other guys out here. We thought about Kiermaier, but he doesn't have the bat, so it wouldn't really be that big of a pickup for us. And then they have Austin Meadows, who is potentially their future out there in the outfield. And so we're going to make a big blockbuster trade here for Randy Arozarena. We're going to try to give them some nice prospects back in return in order to make this move happen. So when it comes down to it, the players that we are going to trade them are going to help them in their future whenever they're trying to build this team up. The headliner of this trade is going to be them obtaining left field prospect Alexander Canario. This is going to be a huge pickup for them as this fills the void left by Arozarena. And the thing with him is they don't have a whole lot of talent in left field, so in terms of the farm system. So this is going to come in and slot in as one of their top prospects right off the bat, so I think that that's a huge pickup for them. In addition to that, we're going to give them a couple of players at positions that they need. So in right field, they're looking for a prospect. Again, they don't have a whole lot of talent here in the right field farm system, so we're going to give them Bryce Johnson, who's a player that's actually playing really well right now, a player that slots in as a 67 overall, so potentially their top right field prospect as well. And then in addition to that, we are going to send them a third base prospect because you guys can see that they are looking for third base baseman right now. They don't have a whole lot in terms of depth here either, and so we're going to send them Casey Schmidt, who is a player that, looks like he could be very good. I was kind of excited about the prospect of this guy, but we have other players here, so we don't absolutely need to hang on to Casey Schmidt. He was an all-star, so this is a player that I think provides a ton of value over here to the Rays. They're getting essentially 3 prospects that can become top prospects within their organization, and so I like this trade a lot. We're going to go ahead and execute this one. And then what we're actually going to do here is we're going to take Arozarena and we're going to bump him to center field. I think that that's going to be what we're looking for. He has that speed to play center field for us, and we're going to have to do a couple of things in terms of shifting the roster around here. Obviously, you guys can see up at the top that we have one too many players at the MLB level, as well as 3 players that need to fill in AA. So we have to do some shifting around, and then we'll go ahead and sim through the trade deadline and take a look to see if anybody else offers us any interesting trades. So the primary move here to be concerned with is we are going to move Jahmai Jones down to AAA to allow him to continue to grow down there. He was more of a call-up just kind of due to necessity, and now with the moves that we've made, I don't necessarily need to go ahead and have him up in the major league level. So we're going to send him down again. He has 2 of his 3 minor league options used. So we'll go ahead and utilize his time in the minors to allow him to continue to grow. With Ronald Torreyes up here, he'll be fine. We did consider sending Logan Wyatt down, but I like his batting skills, I think, more than Jahmai Jones. And so he's a guy that I think has been progressing at the plate. He started off with a pretty low batting average in the MLB level, but has progressively worked that up, and so I like what I'm seeing out of him. It's just going to be a matter of him continuing to develop on that. He may go back down to AAA at some point. We'll see what happens with that, but I think that is our big move there is the movement that you just saw with bringing in an outfielder and then moving a couple guys around. So wanted to make sure I updated you guys on that stuff. And so let's go ahead and simulate here through the trade deadline. So we'll just go ahead and go day by day and see what type of trades people are offering us. That's actually a really nice trade. Zach Plesac would be a huge pickup for us, though I don't think that this one makes a whole lot of sense. They do actually have quite a few pitching prospects that could come up and replace him. In return for Joey Bart, I'm not quite ready to move Joey Bart just yet. I think that he has a lot of progression in front of him. So this is, potentially a really nice move. I actually appreciate the fact that we're getting some serious offers for Bart at this point, but we're going to go ahead and pass on this one, even though I like that move quite a bit. We are going to get an offer from the Mets here. They're looking to send Brandon Belt back to us in return for Tyler Rogers, though we do need a first baseman. I'm not going to make that move. We made the decision last year to let Belt walk, so I'm going to go ahead and skip over that one and continue simming here. We're going to get another one. They're trying to give us Belt. Kind of wasting our time, to be honest with you. We did lose 2 games there, and then we finally hit the trade deadline. So let's go ahead and advance through that. 27 players on their active roster, so I'm going to have to fix that real quick, and I'll be back with you guys to finish out the trade deadline. Alright, so we're finally ready to sim through that date. Michael Morales comes off of injury, so we'll utilize him. And then we have one final offer here from the Dodgers, who are offering us relief pitcher Joe Kelly in return for shortstop Donovan Solano. I'm not going to make that move. I think I could have potentially traded Solano away, though if I'm making a push here, he's one of our best bats. I want to hang on to that guy, and I really think we're prepping to make a playoff push here. When you take a look at where we stand, we're 7 games back, tied with the Padres in the division. But in terms of the NL wildcard, we are the first wildcard team, and I think we can hang on to that spot with some solid performances. That's why we went out and added to the roster. I hope that you guys, like that move. Let me know what you guys think of that move in the comment section below. And really, in today's video, I just wanted this one to be a short one here to cover the trade deadline and the happenings around that. So super short video for you guys today. I'll see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like on the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Like I said, I'll see you in the next one.